The SKS is the most wanted on the hit list of anti-gun lobbyists in Canada. And it doesn't even look like an assault rifles, because assault rifles typically have pistol grip and this does not. It has folding or retractable stock. This is fixed. It has barrel of 16-inch or under, and the SKS has a barrel fixed at 20.5 inches. And most importantly, assault rifles have high capacity magazine of 30 rounds, detachable. And the SKS magazine is fixed at 10, and in Canada we even reduced that further down to 5. So why is it doesn't look anything like an assault rifles, you know, and yet it is on the hit list, the most wanted on the hit list? And why do I see news report when the SKS is involved, they call it assault style or AK style weapon, and it's nothing like that. But why is it being picked on? And the reason why it's being picked on is because of its own success. There is approximately 250,000 SKS in Canada. In the past, they were really cheap, like $200. But since the Ukraine war, the prices, the Russian stopped being exported in or imported into Canada, and the prices has been rising. But also another success is the ammo used to be really cheap. You could buy a whole crate for $200 of 1,400 rounds, and now of course that's all basically gone, and the ammos are getting really expensive too. So that is the reason why the anti-gun lobbyists want to ban this. Currently it is not banned, not under the phase 2 of the Bill C-21. Okay, so today I'm not gonna do the regular programming of my 4 series, which are Hack and Mod, Pick and Shoot, Full Monty Disassembly, and Major Mark Campbell's Gun Collection. Today I'm going to stay strictly focused on December 5th, 2024, Phase 2 of Bill C-21. Okay, why don't we begin? We have a lot to discuss, and if you own a gun in Canada, you would have a PAL. PAL stands for Possession and Acquisition License, PAL. And if you have a PAL, you would be sent an email from the RCMP, and it looks like this. Okay, advising you that the phase 2 of the Bill C-21 bans 324 unique makes and models, and in the second paragraph it has a link to a site with gazette.ca.gc.ca. So I will have a shorter version in the description of the list of the 324, but I encourage you to go to the link, which is more expanded, more would give you more details. Okay, now below that it said, what does it mean to you? It says, well, now that the 324 is now prohibited, and to stop it from making you a criminal for owning them, they're going to have an amnesty good till October 30th, 2025, which is next year. So obviously you would not be a criminal for owning them, and that would be after the federal next election. The federal next election has to be done before that date, okay? But I'm hoping very likely it will be done in the spring. Okay, and what else? Basically that's it. And now as far as storage concerned, how shall you store your newly prohibited guns? Well, whatever classification they used to be. Like if they were non-restricted, you would store them as non-restricted. Even though they're prohibited now, you would store them as before. If they were restricted, you would store them accordingly as restricted as before, regardless of the classification now. Okay, that has changed now. However, it also tells you that you cannot buy legally used, sold, or import. And there's one point it doesn't say you cannot even will these new prohibited rifles and guns to your, of course, to your kids. You cannot do that, and you can transport them if you move, but that's in limited circumstances. Obviously, you have to contact your CFO and get an ATT to transport that to your new residence. And here is another point that comes in an asterisk, and it says they cannot be legally used for hunting unless allowed through the amnesty order, and there's an asterisk on top of that. So when you look under the asterisk, it says the amnesty period allows the continued use of the previous non-restricted firearms in limited circumstances. Example, by indigenous persons exercising Aboriginal or treaty rights to hunt, and by those who hunt or trap to sustain themselves or their family until the end of the amnesty period. We will talk some more about that, okay, about that one line, one sentence that wasn't there before. So that was an important sentence. Keep in mind, we will talk some more about that. Okay, what are your options? Okay, you could just basically store it the way you always have been, although you can't use them or take them out of the house, or you could deactivate them. Now you're wondering, well, Jesus, will I get, can I deactivate and keep it? Yes, you can. You can deactivate and keep it, and you might even be paid money for it. And now you're wondering how much. Well, I don't know for sure, but I know they have been paying dealers who deactivate them. They've been paying them about $400 for a regular classification, but if it's firearms that's over 10,000 joules, I think they were being paid around $700. Okay, so in other words, you can have your firearms deactivated and you can keep it, and they'll pay you that amount. You can also export them, but don't bother. I've checked into that, and the exporter were paying very minuscule amount of money. You're better off just taking a chance and tendering under the program. Okay, below that there were some links, nothing more to add to that, and basically that's what the letter from the RCMP consists of. Okay, so why don't we begin? Let me go back and give you a little bit of history regarding this Bill C-21. A little bit of information before I begin. There is 2.3 million PALs issued or holders in Canada. Of that, 1.1 million are restricted, including me, and 162,000 prohibited license holder, which is not me. Okay. The Bill C-21 was first issued or came on May 1st, 2020. That's the phase one. And on that phase one, 1,500 makes or models was banned or were banned. And if you go down the list, a lot of them had made no sense. Some of them motors and rocket launchers, and anyway, it appears to me it's more like a numbers game to appease some of these anti-gun lobbyists. But honestly, how many people have motor and rocket launchers? Yeah, not many. Under the phase one, I got 3 makes and models, actually more than 3 makes and model, but generally 3 that got hit. One was the AR-15 M4, which is the Norinco, that got hit. and the CZ Evo 3 9mm, that was hit. And then it's the VZ58, which I had several models of it, like CZ858, FSN, CSA, CZ. I had them all, and had several of those that was banned. They were in short barrel, long barrel, medium barrel, different calibers, all sorts, and they all got hit. And that was phase one of the Bill C-21. October 2022, the pistol was the ban. Now the pistol was, you can keep it, you could use it, okay, you can't sell it, you cannot transfer it, you can't import it, you can't do anything with it, but you can still use it, and you weren't being compensated for that, okay. Now, November 2022, they issued a amendment G46 to Bill C-21. On that bill, there was approximately 500 new addition that was added to the 1,500 that was there. Now, there was actually a little bit more than 1,500 because since that bill, they added a few more, and then they added 500, approximately 500 under Amendment G46, which also include the SKS, which of course had a huge pushback by indigenous hunters, trappers, farmers, and of course us generally. And on February 2023, the G46 amendment was withdrawn. Okay, that which brings us to December 5th, 2024, the phase 2 added 324. So now you're wondering, well, what happened to the rest since they had approximately 500? What happened to the rest? Well, that's the hint. They said phase 3 of the ban is coming in the new year, February 2025. So, and now you're wondering, well, how many are coming? Well, it's already been known. They already told us that they are reviewing before phase 2, reviewing 559. They out of the 559, 324 was banned on phase 2. So that leaves us 235 has yet to come. And the SKS will then be included. And we'll talk some more about that. It's not banned under phase 2, but my opinion, it will be banned on phase 3. And we'll talk some more about that. Okay, so that brings us to the current 5th of December 2024. So what I'm going to do today, okay, now before I start and talk more about the ban list, I want to say that I have been looking at other YouTubes, and I'm happy to see some young, new YouTubers from Canada doing YouTubes and carrying on with our hobby. I'm very pleased with that, and so keep up the good work. And what I'm going to do today, I'm going to go through the list of firearms that I did a video of, and then I'm going to compare it to the phase 2 of the 324, and then I'm going to talk about that briefly. Okay. Now, if I did a video and it's not on the ban list, okay, I won't be talking about that because I'm not here to do the RCMP job. Okay. If it's not there, I'm not saying anything. It's not my job. It's their job to put it down on the list, and I'm not going to be talking. And I hope you guys don't send messages to me and says, "Oh, I own this, and why is it not on the list?" Okay, then then you're basically, you know, doing the RCMP job. We are not here to do their work. They're supposed to do it on their own. Okay. So that's so please don't send me any messages. And except for one, I will talk, which obviously is the SKS. The SKS, the GSG16, and the Type 81 are my three most popular videos. I did over about 24 of each of them. So yeah, so I will be talking about the SKS. Now, it's no secret about the SKS. Like I said, it's the most wanted on the anti-gun lobbyists in Canada. Matter of fact, on the press conference that was held by Dominique LeBlanc, the Safety Minister of Canada, during that interview or during that press conference, two of the reporters already asked him and the RCMP about the SKS. So it's not, I'm not, letting out anything, no secrets out here. It's pretty obvious that the SKS is on a hit list since day one. So it's no big deal. So I will be talking further about that. But I shall be back and I'll go down the list. So I'll be back. I am back. Now, I'm going to go down the list of 324 and by item. And the first on the item list is 107, which is the B&T APC. That is Major Mark Campbell's in his gun collection. And item 109, also B&T TP9, that's also Major Mark Campbell's gun collection. And then 113. 113 is the Polytech Type 81. Now, it includes every Type 81. On the forum, some people are saying, oh, I have Type 81M and it's not on there. It's just the Type 81 SA and a Type 81 SR. Wrong. Okay. Because if you look at your receiver, look on the side, the proper description, it would say Type 81 SA. Okay. Now, if you've seen my video on the Type 81M, I made that distinction. I told everybody to ignore the inventory or marketing label, which is the Type 81M. The proper one was Type 81 SA, which, by the way, is all of them except for the SR, which is the Dragunov stock. Okay. So, and the only reason why there's a distinction of the SR is because the receiver is quite different than the rest. Okay. And that is the reason why the receiver had to be, have a different class. But otherwise, it goes by the receiver. It doesn't even go by the barrel. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's a 20-inch heavy barrel or an 18-inch light barrel. They were all Type 81 SA. And that is the reason why when I did my video, I reclassified them all into variants. Okay, so that is why I prefer to use the word variants rather than LMG and SR and M and whatever that the exporter or importer were using. So this is the confusion. So first, when you check, okay, and like I said before, go to the Gazette, and compare the label, the markings on the rifle, not what you saw on the box or what you think the real label of the gun is. Okay, so that's the first thing you should do when you check. Make sure you get it right. Look at the markings on the receiver. So that's item 113. All the Polytech Type 81s are banned under phase 2. Next one, item 114, EMEI Type 97. Yes, that's all gone. That's the bullpup from China. Okay, that's not much to say about that. Next one is item 119. This is the sad part. VZ61 Scorpion, including Zastava M84. They just bought a fresh batch in recently, and it went like hotcakes. Some people were buying by the truckloads, of course, to resell them, because when I had mine, it was like $800, and then, you know, when the pistol ban came in, this was the smallest rifle you could buy. It was not, and then the prices jumped up like crazy, as high as $2,000, and that's why the importer brought more in recently, and now it's all banned. Unfortunately, it's all gone. Item 128, FN FS 2000, that is in Major Mark Campbell's gun collection. 133, GSG 15, which also includes ISSC MK22, Mauser 15, and Anschutz RX22, okay, because they all look alike, and that's the reason why that was banned, GSG 15, okay. It's the scar-looking type, okay. These are only 22s, and yet you're wondering why were they banned. It's only because, yes, they look like scars. They're like mini scars, but nothing like it. Nothing's interchangeable, okay? Nothing is interchangeable, not even the stock, nothing handguard, nothing's interchangeable. It's only because it looks similar, and that's the reason why they got banned. It got banned strictly on looks. Next, 134, Freedom Ordnance FX-9. That is on Major Mark Campbell's gun collection. Next, item 139, GSG 16. Yes, sadly, that's one of my popular rifles that got banned. All of them. The 9-inch SBR and the 16-inch. And now I'm wondering what I'm going to do with all the parts and the furniture that I bought for these. That's all banned. Okay, now also these, by the way, are only 22s. No GSG 16 9 millimeter has come into the country. Okay, it's just the 22s. Next, 144 H&K UMP. Okay, that's in Major Mark Campbell's gun collection. Next, 153 Caltech Sub 2000. Okay, that's the 9mm foldable survival. They got that one, so that's gone. So obviously, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 all been prohibited. Next, 154 Chris Victor. That all gone. The SBR, even the 22s, got banned. And this Chris Victor is not even an assault rifle looking. It's actually weird. It's a weird looking rifle, but yet weird is considered assault, I guess. It's gone. Next, 160 M+M M10X. I had the Gen 2. Major Mark Campbell's gun collection had the Gen 3. Both got hit. Next, 161 Bushmaster ACR. That is in Major Mark Campbell's gun collection. Next, 167 BRS 99. Okay, this is the Uzi looking type, but made in Poland. Okay, that's gone. And now I don't know what they're going to do about the magazine, because these ones had one hell of an expensive magazine. They were like $100 each. Okay, so I mean, if you bought like, 5 of them or 6 of them, that's like $600. What are you going to do about that? They never ever said about the buyback, what are you going to do with the magazines, okay? Let alone what they're going to do with the spare parts that I bought, like the furniture, the accessories, the spare barrels, or the spare whatever. Are we going to get anything for them? No idea, no hints about that. But I might have an idea, but I'll talk about that later. Okay, 172 GSG MP40. Okay, now this is in a 22, and it looks like the World War II MP40, and strictly because it looks like that, it got hit. Okay. Next, item 180 STG 44, which is also a GSG. Again, 22, in a 22. It got hit because it looks like the real World War II one, but nothing like it. No parts interchangeable. Okay. Next, item 185, Tavor X95 21 MSW and 7. All on the list. Okay. This is an interesting one. The MSW a few months ago, 6 months ago, was prohibited because the importer misidentified it, and so it was prohibited. Now, I chose to, there was a choice given by the importer that if I have it deactivated, I could get, and then turn that to them, I could get a credit for what I paid for. And I chose that route. Others decided to fight it. Okay, so what happened to those? Well, the court case is gone. Now that it's legislated to be banned, I assume the court case it will end now, right? It's over. So all that money wasted with the lawyers. That's what I think. So and what happened with some of these MSW, they disassembled it, right? They disassembled it and sold the remaining as parts kits for like $200, $2,000. Yeah, like $2,000 the kits. And so coupled with your original investment for the X95, that brings you up to $5,000. Wow, you got hit really severely if you bought that kit, because you're so in tune to making it look like an MSW. I thought it was really silly to buy the MSW kit. Anyway, that's all done. And lastly, it's the item 195, which is the High Point 995. Okay, I had one. It was the worst gun I ever bought. So yeah, that's got hit. So that's basically the end. Like I said, there's one item that's not on this list that I've done video about, is the SKS, and I'll talk some more about it, and I'll be back. Okay. Question: will there be a phase 3? Yes, there will be a phase 3 because Dominique LeBlanc has already announced that there will be phase 3 in February of next year. And you're wondering, well, how many more are coming? Well, the RCMP on the same press conference mentioned there's still 235 yet to come. So will that include the SKS? Most definitely is going to include the SKS, because when they withdrew the G46 amendment, no one was more disappointed with that than the anti-gun lobbyists. Okay, they were really disappointed, and so therefore they're going to have to make up to them. And of course, the fact that the press conference was held the day before the anniversary of the Polytechnique, 35th anniversary, that kind of says that the anti-gun lobbyist means a lot to the Liberal government. And it's kind of rushed, even though they weren't completed. They put out whatever they had, which is 324, and then they're going to, by February of next year, they'll be finished with the remainder. Well, why do it all in these stages? It's because of optics, right? They want to tell, they want to do something, they want to show something on the eve of the 35th anniversary. And I guess the Liberals thought, why don't we just put out what we have and we do the remaining in February of next year. So yes, the SKS will be there. But now you're wondering, well, what is the difference when they withdrew the G46 from the phase 3? The big difference is, and I mentioned this to you already, is that little asterisk, the footnote, okay? And that makes the big difference between the amendment G46 and the phase 3 that's yet to come, okay? And I will again read it out to you. This is what is the difference. And this is the asterisk I was talking about. The amnesty period allows for the continued use of the previous non-restricted firearm in a limited circumstances, example, by indigenous persons exercising Aboriginal or treaty rights to hunt, and by those who hunt or trap to sustain themselves or their families until end of the amnesty period, which is October 30th, 2025. That is the only difference between the reason why they withdrew the G46, and that's going to come on phase 3. That they just wanted to put this out now to see what the reaction is. So far, nobody's really talking about that. But question is, will the hunters, will the indigenous persons be happy with that thing? You have to understand the whole point of allowing them to continue hunting rather than stopping them right at the foot, like right at their tracks. So giving them time to, I guess, tender, if you can call that the buyback, get the money, and then go buy a replacement. That was the whole point. It allows them to continue using till they decide what type of rifle they want to buy. But will they be happy? Not really, because here is the thing. The SKS are one of the cheapest automatics you can actually get, or firearm. Now, if the government want them to switch over to hunting rifles today, even bolt action, not even talking about semis, you're looking at in Canada anywhere from $900 to $1,000. Now, what are you going to get for your SKS? Well, we don't quite know, but you can buy the SKS today for $500, so that sounds about right. You can get a Chinese SKS for $500. So let's say even if you got the going rate of $500, how are you gonna be able to buy a rifle, even a bolt action, twice as much? Whether it's in 7.62 by 39 or a 308, you're still looking at $900 to $1,000. Okay, there's no getting around it. You still need more money to add on. So are they going to be particularly happy? I don't think so. Okay, so yeah, there will be still some pushback on that. So is the buyback program going to be really cheap about it? I don't think so. No. They're not going to try to rip us off by giving us $400 or $300. Okay, no, I expected at least the going rate. Okay, so yes, there will be a phase 3. Now another question is how much? Okay, I actually answered the question about SKS, which I thought would be the going rate. For a Chinese, maybe 500. For the Russians, maybe 650 to 700. For the Yugo, maybe $1,000. And for the SKSD and MC5, you know, the one that take AK mags, you can probably get that into the 1100 to 1200 range. So that would be my guess. Okay, but there is a hint how much you're gonna get. There's a site that already listed what the dealers are getting right now. And if the dealers are getting that amount, I can't see why the general public can't get the same amount. There's a list. I will attach that on the description. But I'll give you a few examples, okay? So you'll have an idea how it's, or you can have my opinion what that is, okay? Obviously, the phase 2 list buyback amount, even for the dealers, not out yet. But the phase 1 list is out, and I had 3 makes and models on that list. So I'm going to talk about that, okay? The first is the Norinco, which is the M4 looking type, CQ-A-1. The dealers are getting $675, okay? What is that amount? That's actually a little on the low side. It was going for about $750 to $800. Okay, so that $675 is a little on the low side. My next rifle that was banned was a CZ Scorpion Evo 3 S1 Carbine. Okay, the dealers are getting $1130. Now that is way low, okay, because the retail price at the time I bought mine was on sale, paid $1,250 on sale. The retail was $1,450, okay. So getting $1130 is way low. Now here is a situation that I want you to be aware of. It's not that simple to just go and check out the dealer's list and figure out, oh, this is what I'm going to get, because it can be very complicated because there is tremendous amount of variance, depends on the model. In the case of VZ58, there is approximately 24 variants. So you have to be very careful how you pick this. Now, if you, so therefore, if you want to know what the value is, you have to be very careful. You just can't rely on that list, the dealer's list. You have to also go to the reference number on the Arms site. I will link that down in the description, and you match the reference table number and then make sure that it's close. But I'll give you an example of what you can get for your VZ58. Okay, some look rather high and some looks rather low, so it's very confusing how, you know, this this gun group recommended the value of this. I just don't quite understand how they did that. But let me give you an example, for instance. Okay, CZ858, for instance. Okay, so now there is quite a few of these. Now you have to be very careful. There is difference between TAC-2, TAC-4V, Tactical-2V, and Tactical-4P, and there's on and on. There's a Spartan, and there's a Hunter, there's a CZ958 that came afterwards, 958, Hunter, and then there's, of course, other manufacturer like CZH203 Sports, FSN, CSA, but I own CSA, and let's see, it's about, now there's 4 different reference number. One of them is a 556, so I just ignore that one. So there's 3. I haven't specifically looked at which of the item. One's a sports, one's a Canadian sports, so I don't think it's a Canadian sports, so let's drop that part. So I'm just looking at the sports, and I'm looking anywhere from 1210 to 1290. Now that, like I said, I paid $12.50 on sale. Regular was $14.50. So of course the CSA is low. Now I'm looking at the CZ858, and they are running anywhere 915 and up. There's one that's 1320, and there's a couple of them that's 1045. Now, how is that possible when CZ858 are made from spare parts, while the CSA is brand new? Everything was brand new. So why are some of these higher than CSA? It just makes no sense. So first thing you must do, read the name on the side of the receiver, and then go to the reference table, check the reference number, and then go then check the value of what the dealer's getting. But anyway, it ranged between 915 all the way to 1320 for one gun, but generally the highest is actually 1290 with for the CSA. So I think it's probably 1290 is mine. Okay, there's also FSN. That's a VZ58. They have it marked here as -01, FSN -01K. K stands for Krinkhoff. Now, as a marketing model, they also has the FSN 01W, which is a wood, and then there is a FSN-01 something else, which I can't remember what it was. But the FSN is 985. Okay. Now I'm a little surprised because the market value for the Krinkov was like over 1,700, and the other ones was about $1,000. But the Krinkov was really popular. This does not account for the market value and the popularity of the rifle, unfortunately. So if you have a Krinkov, you're screwed. You'll have I think there's a way you can appeal that. Okay, and there's no way the Krinkov should be in the same level as the other ones. Okay. Now, if you happen to have an FSN -01-W, do not assume that it is not prohibited, because it's not here. Okay. Look on the side of the receiver. You'll see that it's the marketing is FSN-01W for wood, but it's actually just FSN-01. That's it. So it falls under all the other category. So yes, be careful. Do not assume. Double check that whether it's prohibited or not before you take it out to the range or you take it out hunting with it. Okay. Do not assume. So that is the value that affects me. This is what the dealers are getting. I assume it will be very similar, very close to this. So for me, it is a little on the low side. Okay, all of them are a little on the low side. The Norinco is a little on the low side of the market value. The Scorpion Evo 3, a little on the low side. And also the CSA VZ58 is a little on the low side. Now, but if I happen to have a CZ858, that this looks like a little on the high side, you know, considering it's a gun made from part kits. Okay, going from there, what do I think about the SKS? I already talked about that briefly. I think you'll get a fair value for the SKS. So if you're thinking of buying one, I wouldn't be too afraid. Matter of fact, I did buy one recently on a Black Friday for $420. I bought a blade bayonet Chinese for $420. I'm not worried about that. I think that's undervalued. So enjoy your SKS while you can. You got till a few more months, so enjoy that, and don't worry if you bought it for yourself during Christmas and you think you're gonna get your money back. Okay. Now here we're gonna come to a crucial point about accessories and parts. Now the dealers are also 200 parts the federal government has put on the the buyback lists, and they're mostly stuff like barrels, receiver, trigger mechanism, things like that. And I've got a few examples here, and they're actually broken down into different materials like stainless steel and so on and so forth. But I'm just gonna do steel, just to give you a rough idea. So any barrel that's blued, you would get $210. Okay, this is what the dealers are getting. There's no more than 200 parts. Right now, they have not mentioned that the general public is gonna get paid for the parts, but we can assume since the dealer's getting it, the general public will also get it. Because what the hell are we gonna do with the barrel? Like if I have a spare VZ58 barrel, what the hell am I going to do with it since I don't have the receiver? So the barrel, if it's blued, it's $210. Gas block, if it's steel, it's $70. Gas tube, if it's steel, is $26. Firearm pin, that's steel, $22.50. And magazine polymer, $69. So if you have a beat up magazine for the SKS, if it's under $50, yeah, you can get $69 if they include the parts rebate, or not rebate, but a buyback. And also magazine stainless steel is $48. Now I don't quite understand that. Magazine stainless steel, you get $48 back, but magazine polymer, you get $69. And there's no mention about magazine that's regular steel. Okay, so what do we get for the regular steel? Don't know. But that's an example. I will list what these parts more detail on my description. Okay, what else is there to talk about? Ukraine. Let's talk about Ukraine. I am of the opinion, yes, Ukraine wants to help out their buddy in Ottawa, and they will take some regardless of whether they want to use it or not. But one thing for sure, they will not use, guns that is taken from the general public. Why? Because they don't know what condition they're in, right? It could be modified, it could be tampered with. It's very dangerous if your life depends on it, right? So there's no way they would take the general public guns. They will only take the brand new guns from the dealer. Okay, so I don't know why they're telling us this. They can talk to the 300 dealers themselves and says, But anyway, this is more like a publicity stunt, in my opinion. Okay, none of our guns are going to Ukraine. Positively, none, because there's no way any respecting soldier would use a gun that's in the hand of the general public and depend his life on it. There's no way. There's no way. And definitely he will not be using any of my 22s. Okay? Nothing. Nobody in Ukraine would use a 22. Like, no, there's nothing. Now, what type of guns would they be interested in? Okay, if it's a brand new AR, yes. There is a contingent of foreign volunteers in Ukraine. They may, because they're used to using AR-15s, they may want to use AR-15. Even though it's not select fire, they may think that's what they like. So if it's brand new, they would use that. Definitely Tavor, they will use the Tavor. Tavor is battle proven, and they will want to use that. And Tavor definitely not. They will take all the brand new Tavor, and the AR, not AR. Sorry, AK. No, the AR. So they'll take all the AR, and that's basically about it. They're all the new ones. Okay, and anything else? I don't think so, because there will be a problem with parts, should it break down, there obviously there won't be a large supply of parts. So in any case, that's my belief. Ukraine will use some of the guns from our dealer, not from the general public. Okay, what do we expect? There's rumors going on regarding magazines, that the Ottawa is thinking of banning them. Well, I don't see an outright ban of the pin magazines, the ones that we already have, like this one here. I don't think there's an outright ban. This is pinned, of course, and there's a pin here somewhere. Oh, I can't actually see it. It's really well done, but it's in here somewhere. And they're not going to be outlawing this. But what I do see coming up, they could ban, by OIC, ban importation of high cap magazine. So how are they going to do that? Well, it's very simple. Okay. In other words, let's give an example. Here is a 10-round fixed magazine. They would say this cannot. Let's say the SKS has not been banned yet, and let's say they introduced a law regarding magazine. They say, okay, SKS that comes in a 10-round magazine has to come to Canada this way. This is fixed at 5. There's no pin, and it's been cut. Okay, that's it. You can't put more than 5, and you can't modify it. You can't do nothing. That's it. So this would look like that. Okay, that's basically it. So this well, there are 5 rounds. Will be this short. Okay, this is all you're gonna get. This part will be gone. Okay, so they all have to fix all that before they come into Canada. So that's what's gonna happen. So they're hoping that over the years that slowly high cap through the use will slowly diminish and be gone eventually. So that's what I think is going to happen to the magazines. Okay, what else? I think I've basically covered everything. Yep, I generally did. And so thank you very much for joining me. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and keep writing to your MPs, please. And please, next election, please vote. Okay, vote for the party that you think is best for our sports. Thank you very much. Good night.